Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations, much love and respect to you, Akim, out there pushing this word out in truth and sincerity. Now, I came across this video, and the Spirit told me to do a lesson. So I'm doing this lesson, and this is the IUIC San Jose justifying long hair. Okay, and the name of the video is "Long Hair on a Man, Is It Sin? Is It a Sin?" Okay, and a lot of these topics come to them, like this topic, the mark of the beast, things like that. They come to them through the Spirit, right? Because they're going to have to answer for these things, especially the mark of the beast. That's the main thing that they're going to have to answer for, okay? Because that's a very important prophecy. But dealing with this long hair situation, you're going to hear this individual try to justify it, okay? So let's play this.
You're talking about the long hair, right? You want to know about it? Do you think it's sin?
I think so.
You think it's sin?
I heard somebody told me.
Somebody told you long hair is sin. Because Samson, you know Samson, right?
Yeah.
Samson had long hair, right?
Yeah.
Was he in sin? Because that was the source of his power, right? When they cut Samson's hair, he didn't have no power.
Yeah.
Now, the source of his power was his connection with the Most High. If you grow out based upon the covenant, if you grow out your hair, you're not going to become stronger. Okay? You're not going to become stronger. So you have to really break that down correctly. Because Jacob think that because they have long hair, that makes them stronger. Because the Rastafarians, they actually believe that. All right? Which is a false doctrine. Okay? Now, Samson, that was a special case. Samson was an exception to the rule. Okay? The Heavenly Father always puts exceptions out there, right? But generally speaking, having long hair is not masculine. It's feminine. Okay? Now, Samson, why did he have long hair? Everyone knew why he had long hair. There was a reason for it. He didn't just have it just for vanity's sake. Okay? He had it because he was under the vow of the Nazarite. And he was under a vow of the Nazarite for life. Okay, let's read the vow of the Nazarite, Numbers 6, in verse verse 1. It says, And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When either man or woman shall separate themselves to vow a vow of a Nazarite, to separate themselves unto Yahweh, he shall separate himself from wine and strong drink. So he couldn't drink wine or strong drink, and shall drink no vinegar of wine or vinegar of strong drink. Neither shall he drink any liquor of grapes, nor eat moist grapes or dried. All the days of his separation shall he eat nothing that is made of the vine tree, right? From the kernels even to the husk, right? So he couldn't eat corn, he couldn't eat pumpkins, he couldn't eat squash. There was a lot of things that he had to stay away from because he was being separated unto the Heavenly Father. Okay, he was being separated. There's being made a difference between him and a regular Israelite man. Okay? It says, all the days of the vow of his separation, there shall no razor come upon his head. Right, so he was not supposed to cut his head or pull his head the whole time of the vow was. Now, Samson was under the vow of the Nazarite from birth up until his death. Okay? So when he cut his hair, what did he do? He broke the vow. If he would have drank wine, he would have broken the vow and most likely would have lost his power. Okay? So it's not about the hair. The hair didn't give him strength. Okay? It was the connection that he had with Yahweh Shai, who put the spirit on him to get that strength. Okay? Because even when he didn't, guess what? While his hair was still short, or a lot shorter, guess what? The Lord, he prayed for the Lord to give him back his strength when they plucked out his eyes or whatever. He prayed for the Lord to give him back the strength one last time. Okay, and then he broke the pillars and everything fell upon them. Okay? So it was about the vow. Okay? It says, until the days be fulfilled, right? Meaning until the end of the vow. Because usually the average person, when they take the vow, they don't take the vow forever. They take the vow up into a particular point. You know? In the which he separated himself unto Yahweh. He shall be holy and shall let the locks of his hair, the locks of the hair of his head grow. Now let's deal with the word locks, because another thing that you guys go off on is the locks, the dreads. That's not the locks that this is speaking about. If you did some research and you knew some actual Hebrew definitions, you would know that word locks is not dealing with actual dreads, okay, which is a heathenistic custom. It specifically comes from the Elamites, the East Indians. Look it up, okay? It's parai. Parai. It says hair of head, locks, leader, the hair, dishevel, locks. Okay. So this one is just dealing with hair specifically. Okay. Let's see. Okay, this is just dealing with hair. Now let's go to where Samson mentions locks, because that maybe a different word. Okay, because sometimes it's dealing with just hair in general, and it could be dealing with also braids, right? We're gonna show you that. Right? It says Samson has 7 locks. He didn't have 7 of those crazy looking flat dreads that they have out there in Miami. Okay? He wasn't looking like that. Like a madman. This is the word for locks. Yeah, so it's a different word. It's a different word here. Okay? Parai, that's dealing with hair. This is something different. This is machalapa. Machalapa, okay? Which says braid, right? Lock, plait, okay? So a braid, when you weave the hair together, okay? It's not dealing with a dreadlock when you put the beeswax and all that, and then you can't wash it properly because you can't get inside of it. So all that gunk and all that filth builds up inside of it. That's why a lot of those people, they have those dreads and it has a particular funk. They smell like homeless people. Okay? Because you can't fully clean that. That's not an Israelite custom. That's a heathenistic custom. Okay? So let's go to, this is a different word, okay? Machalapa. Machalapa. Okay, let's go to a cut for that. Right? So we're going to cut you on that, on the dreadlocks that you guys allow in your congregation. But supposedly you're supposed to be of the law. Well, this is in the law. This is, it's not in Leviticus. All the scriptures is the law. Did not the Lord say that it is said in your law that ye are gods? Was that written in Leviticus or Deuteronomy or Numbers? No, that was written in the Psalms. Okay? This is Jeremiah 10:1. It says, hear ye the word which Yahweh speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen. Okay? Having dreadlocks in your head is the ways of the heathen. That is an East Indian Elamite custom. Look it up. They're called Shiva Vatas. We've done many videos on that. We've done many videos on these Shiva Vatas. Matter of fact, let's go into let's type it in right here while you guys are watching. The origin of dreadlocks. The origin of dreadlock, because even the Hamites weren't putting in dreadlocks. That's not even a Hamite thing. Okay? The origin of dreadlocks. centered Creek, now part of Greece. No. Hinduism. Let's go here. Dreadlocks have been worn by many cultures around the world for thousands of years. Their origins can be traced back to ancient times. The first one that pops up is Hinduism. Okay, it goes back to the Hindus. And it says here the ancient Egyptians wore it too. So, Salaki on that. The Hamites did wear it, okay, which are heathens, which have nothing to do with us. Okay, the Minoan, which are heathens, have nothing to do with us. All right. Okay. Let's go to. This is a heathenistic custom. Okay, when you go to Hinduism, which it says that it has different cultures that dealt with it, but the origins is heathenistic. It's not an Israelite custom. Although you had Israelites that did it, it's not an Israelite custom. Okay. It says Hinduism in the ancient Hindu text called the Vedas. The deity Lord Shiva is depicted with dreadlocks, which are referred to as jata, a Sanskrit word meaning twisted locks of hair. Okay. So that goes back to the East Indians. I believe they would be some of the oldest to do it, but it's a heathenistic custom, right? If it goes back to the Egyptians, then I don't know who did it first, but it's heathen. Okay, it's heathen. When you read the scriptures, there's no point when it mentions locks that it's speaking about dreadlocks. Okay, even though you see here it has certain Wolofs in Senegal, dreadlocks were worn by kings and Theodo warrior class in Senegal. That's not Israelite customs. Okay, Celtic and Viking peoples dreadlocks were worn by. That's still not an Israelite custom. Okay, the Maasai tribes in East Africa, right, which most of those are Hamites, not an Israelite custom. Remember, when we were in Senegal and these places, we were amongst the Hamites. So we were learning the Hamite ways, okay? Cutting their face. I know Israelites to this day that have cuts in their face based upon their tribal things that they've done, but which they got from the heathen, which is not Israelite. So you can't say because the Israelites did it, that's an Israelite custom. It's not an Israelite custom. It's the Israelites learning the ways of the heathen as they always did. Now the Mesoamerican dreadlocks were worn by Mesoamerican people in Mexico between 14th and 16th century. Still a heathenistic custom. Our people were going off. You got Israelites in the Amazon right now with bones in their nose, man. That doesn't make it an Israelite custom. Okay, so I just want to say that just because they have that, see, Israelites did it. See, no, that's still not an Israelite custom. When you read the scriptures, it doesn't mention anything about that. Like I just showed you, dealing with Samson, when it says locks, it's dealing with braids. Okay, braids. So it was 7 braids in Samson's hair. Okay, right? It was 7 braids, right? So so dealing with the locks. You're breaking this law right here. This is Jeremiah 10:2. It says, "Thus saith Yahweh, learn," and the Most High said this, "learn not the way of the heathen." By putting dreadlocks in your hair, you're learning the way of the heathen. It's unclean. Okay? And it was done to other gods. "And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them." Okay, so you're not supposed to be following the customs of the heathen. "For the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. They are upright like as the palm tree, but speak not. They must needs be born, because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil, neither also is it in them to do good." Now this is going into the Christmas tree. Okay, decking it with silver and with gold, cutting it down, right? It looked a little bit different in the ancient world. They dealt with actual sacrifice and all that, but it's the same concept. It's heathenistic, right? Just like the dreadlocks, you may not be praying to Shiva directly, but it's a heathenistic custom. Okay. Now, and it's unclean. It's unclean. Okay, we are supposed to be a clean people. That's what it means to be sanctified. That's what it means to be holy, be separate. Okay. Let's go to. Matter of fact, let's let him speak a little bit more. So Samson was under the vow of the Nazarite. Okay, he wasn't wearing long hair just to be fashionable or to be vain, right? Because this was a separation between him and the other men of Israel. Okay, most men had what? They had shorter hair because men wore short hair while women wore long hair. Matter of fact, hold on. What's the glory of a woman? This is 1 Corinthians 11. In verse 7, it says, "For if the woman be not covered, let her also be shorn. But if it be a shame for a woman to be shorn or shaven, let her be covered." And it's a shame for a woman to be shaven. Okay? Okay, to have short hair. And that's why the Lord put that curse upon the women of the kingdom of Judah to shame them. Okay? That's why they got to put weave and glue weave to their head, because they feel ashamed. It says, "For a man indeed ought not to cover his head, for as much as he is the image and glory of the Most High, but the woman is the glory of the man." Okay? "For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man." I gotta read this whole thing, but it doesn't say the woman's glory. Let's go like this. Okay, this is 1 Corinthians 11 and 15, so it was down there a bit. It says, "But if a woman have long hair, it is a glory to her, for her hair is given her for a covering." See, so Paul was breaking it down. Okay, the Apostle Paul was breaking it down and showing you that a woman was given that long hair as a covering, and that's a glory to them. But then when you read further down, he tells you about the flip side of it being not a glory to a man. "But if any man seemed," excuse me. Matter of fact, let's go up to verse 12. It says, "For as the woman is of the man, even so is the man also by the woman, but all things of the Most High. Judge in yourselves, is it comely that a woman pray unto the Most High uncovered? Doth not even nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him?" So that's a shameful thing to have long hair. Okay? It's a shameful thing. Okay? And it also shows vanity. Okay? It says, "But if a man," and then Paul is speaking through the Spirit. Okay? Does that mean you're necessarily going to be put to death for it? Paul is speaking through the Spirit, right? For you having long hair, that says something about you. And the fact that you want to keep that long hair rather than listen to what Paul said, that says something about your character. Okay? It says, "But if a woman have long hair, it is a glory to her, for her hair is given her for a covering. But if any man seem to be contentious, we have no such custom, neither the churches of the Most High." Okay? So we don't have a custom of men wearing long hair. Let's go to the NLT, man. Let's go to the NLT. That's not an Israelite custom, right? Unless you're under the vow of a Nazarite, you keep it there for a time period. But that's a totally different scenario. That's an exception. Okay? This is 1 Corinthians, and none of you are under. Hey, which one of you are under the vow of the Nazarite? You better not be drinking wine. You better not be eating grapes. You better not be drinking pumpkin soup. Okay? There's so many things. You can't buy stuff from the store. You cannot eat at restaurants. Okay? You cannot eat at restaurants. You have to cook every single meal. Okay? This is 1 Corinthians 11 and 15. It says, and isn't long hair a woman's pride and joy? For it is. Matter of fact, let's go up, man. Let's go up to verse 13. It says, judge for yourselves. Is it right for a woman to pray to the Most High in public without covering her head? Isn't it obvious that it's disgraceful for a man to have long hair? It's disgraceful. And isn't long hair a woman's pride and joy? Why? How long do they spend in the hair salons on Saturdays? Half the day, because that's their pride and joy. A lot of these jakes, anyways, man, they get a lineup every week because they're so vain. It says, for it has been given to her for as a covering. But if anyone wants to argue about this, I simply say that we have no other custom than this, and neither do the Most High's other churches, right? Because they're following the ways of their forefathers. The Corinthians were following the ways. They were coming in with a lot of ways of the Greeks. All right, which was heathenistic. All right, Salakia. I didn't mean to ramble on so much, Akim. The Spirit was just on me to say a few things. Okay, so let's hear what else this guy got to say.
He lost his power, so we know because that was a Nazarite. The oath of a Nazarite is he wouldn't cut his hair and he wouldn't drink strong drink, no wine, right? That was his strength. So we'll see what the Bible says. Go ahead.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 14. Doth not even nature itself teach you that if a man hath long hair, it is a shame unto him?
You see that? When you read on the Corinthians, right? The Corinthians was a church that Paul was helping out. These were men that were Israelites, right? That were under the customs of the Greeks. So they were coming back to God's laws. But they were dealing with fornication, adultery. They were dealing with effeminism. They were effeminized. So these men had long hair acting like women. When you look at Romans,
it didn't matter what. It's not about them acting like women. It's the fact that they have long hair. He didn't say because they were acting like women. He said it's a shame for a man to have long hair. You adding that is adding to the scriptures. Because it didn't say having long hair and acting like women, which I heard another IUIC member say something like that. You know, it's because they were acting feminine with the long. It has nothing to do with acting. If you have long hair, you're gonna act feminine. It's just a feminine thing. Whether you act feminine or not, it's a feminine thing. You pushing your hair back out of your face. That's all feminine. Okay. But it doesn't matter whether you're acting feminine or not. You're not supposed to have long hair. That's all Paul was saying. Where did it say because they were feminine? Let me read this again. Let's see if it says anything about because they were effeminate. It says, doth not, this is 1 Corinthians 11 and 14. Doth not even nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him? Where does it mention effeminate here? It said if a man have long hair. That's it. So y'all, and it said if a woman has long hair, it's a glory to her. Does it say unless she acts masculine? It's a glory unto her unless she acts masculine. You know, they're just trying to make it fit what they want it to fit because they know there's going to be a lot of those vain persons that follow them that will leave the congregation just because you say, you know, don't have long hair. Cut them dreadlocks. You know how much people will leave? And the more people that leave, the more money that leaves, man.
In Greek history, you see that the men were always homosexuals. That was the thing with the Romans and with the Greeks. So guess what?
So if they cut their hair, they can still be moles. If you cut your hair, that doesn't. If they have a demon on them that makes them attracted to men, them cutting their hair is not gonna exercise the demon. Okay. So what are you trying to say here? He's trying to make it seem like. Okay. Anyways, let's continue, man.
People were doing the same thing. So read that again.
Doth not even nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him?
Point blank, period.
But if a woman have long hair, it is a glory to her.
Point blank,
See
period.
that? So for a woman to have long hair, it's the woman's glory.
Yeah.
Right? But there's more. Go ahead.
For her hair is given her for a covering.
Okay.
But if any man seem to be contentious, we have no such custom, neither the churches of God.
You see that? So if some men are contentious, no, a man cannot have long hair. We don't have no law against it.
No, that's not what.
So it is not.
No, that's not what he's saying. No, that's not what he said. That's not what he said. What he was saying, see, he's misunderstanding that scripture. What he said was, if any man seems to be contentious with him saying that you got to cut your hair, hey, look at all the other churches. We don't have a custom of men wearing long hair. So see, now they're twisting the scriptures. That's a twisting. That's a misunderstanding. I don't know if he's purposely trying to twist it, but that's a misunderstanding of the scripture. Let's read it again. Let's read it let's read it. It said, doth not even nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him? But if a woman have long hair, it is a glory to her, for her hair is given her for a covering. But if any man seem to be contentious, right? Meaning what? Meaning to fight against what Paul is saying here. We have no such, as you IUIC people are doing. You're fighting against what we're saying because we speak about a man shouldn't have long hair. Okay, you're being contentious, right? And we're trying to show you we didn't have such a custom. Okay, men didn't have long hair unless it was for the vow of a Nazirite for a time, with the exception of Samson. Okay, it says we have no such custom, neither the churches of the Most High. Okay. Okay. Let's read this in the NLT. It says, and isn't I'll start at verse 15. And isn't long hair a woman's pride and joy? For it has been given to her as a covering. But if anyone wants to argue about this, wants to argue about what? Meaning argue with Paul about this. I simply say that we have no other custom than this, and neither do the Most High's other churches. We don't have a custom where men are walking around with long hair. Okay? That's not our custom. That's not what we're accustomed to outside of what? The vow of a Nazirite, which I believe Paul he took the vow of a Nazirite, but then he cut his hair, I believe, before the time of the Passover, if I'm not mistaken. Okay? Because it wasn't a thing where the average person just kept the hair forever. I'm a Nazirite forever. Because that, first of all, that's hard, right? And you can't drink wine, you can't do none of those things. So it's a hard thing to do. That was a thing to make you become closer to the Most High. These guys are wearing long hair for vanity, okay? Straight up for vanity, because the women like dreadlocks. That's the straight up reason why they're wearing these long, or the women like the long hair, or they want to cover their forehead. They're not wearing it because of the Most High. And to say that and to act like you're doing that is that's wickedness. That's hypocrisy right there. To even act like you're doing that is hypocrisy. Anyways, let's go. Let's keep going, man. Let's see. You know what? Let's see one more version. Let's try something. Because some of the versions go off, but we're gonna see if the versions, one of them got an even more juicy take. If anyone wants to be contentious about this, we have no other practice, nor do the churches of the Most High. Right. So, because he was the one bringing it to them. It wasn't them bringing this issue up. It was Paul bringing the issue up. I don't know these versions. Christian Standard, English Standard. Let's do this. Let's do this real quick. It says, if anyone is inclined to be contentious, we have no such practice, nor do the churches of the Most High. Okay? So that's the point. So in other words, if anyone wants to be contentious with Paul based upon what he's saying, okay? Because men, they're not cutting my hair because of that vanity, man. Let's continue.
Not a sin for men to have long hair. Okay? Hey, what y'all learned so far from the officer?
We're talking about colonization, the difference between colonization and enslavement.
So that's the end of that. Okay, the bottom line is they're trying to justify this long hair thing, which is written in the scriptures. The Most High put the Spirit on Paul to write it down in Corinthians about long hair being a shame unto men, because he was trying to explain to them they should cut their hair down, pull their hair to make it their hair shorter. Okay, because they were following after like he said, the customs of the Greeks. He's absolutely right. They were following the customs of the Greeks. That alone should tell you that it was not the Israelite way. So why would you want to keep long hair? You should be teaching them how to be Israelites. Okay? And like I said, wearing long hair, and when the fact that Paul said that and is brought to your attention that, Paul said you shouldn't have long hair, and you want to keep your hair, that says a lot about you as your character. Okay? So we'll leave it at that, man. But the main thing with these guys is the MOTB, man. That's one of the main things. I mean, they teach a lot of false doctrines, but one of the main doctrines they teach that's off is the mark of the beast. Okay? So with that, Lord willing, this was edifying to the elect. I just want to bring this out. They're still being contentious. About this particular topic, like Paul mentioned. I'll say shalom, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai.